everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside because, you know, I like that smokiness of the lap song. So good guys. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea or possibly a cup of coffee or maybe something harder, as I always say. Depends on what part of the planet you're on. Today we're going to be talking about Sony. Sony has put a fork in the A-Mount. It's pretty much done. According to Sony's website, there is no longer any DSLRs, A-Mount, anything available. It all comes up as unavailable, discontinued, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to get into that in just a second. But before I do, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded my ebook as of yet, go check it out over at JCristina.com/ebook. Once again, JCristina.com/ebook. 10 tips at making tack sharp images. There's something there for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a professional, a pro-am, or just an amateur. You're going to glean something from that ebook. And the cost of it is pretty incredible. It's free. So go pick up my free ebook over at jcristina.com/ebook. Also, if you haven't cleaned your sensor as of yet, a lot of people have been talking about this for a while, that their mirrorless cameras get dirty. The inside, the sensors get dirty really quick, and when they take a picture outside, the sky is all full of black dots. And the black dots are basically dust and debris and smear and smudge that's on the sensor from opening it up and closing it all the time, putting on new lenses. So you need to clean them. There's no reason in post-production having to take out all those little dots and whatnot. So I created a product called Aurora Camera Care, and this was about 6-7 months ago. You can find them over on B&H Photo and Video, Amazon.com through Prime, or over on my website, JCristina.com. Once again, it is Aurora Camera Care. I have something there for you. It doesn't matter if you have a Micro Four Thirds, an APS-C, or a full-frame camera. There is a cleaning kit for you there. It's safe and quick, and it costs you probably less than $5 to clean your sensor instead of $100 for sending them out. Anyways, let's get right into it. So, Sony, like I said, puts a fork in to their DSLR lineup. And this just happened, I think it was this week, the beginning of this week, which was kind of amazing because DSLRs have been around forever. And all the manufacturers are still making them. Companies like Pentax are still making them today. They haven't went to mirrorless. I don't think they will. So I think that DSLRs are going to stay around for a little bit, but as we see here, Sony, as of today or as of this week, has discontinued the A-Mount altogether. So according to Sony's website, you'll see that the A99 II, as well as the A77 II and the A68 are all no longer available, in quotes. They're discontinued, and that's basically it. That's right on Sony's official website. Now, is there other mom pops or other organizations that might have some still in stock that they can sell? Absolutely, but according to Sony's website, that's it. Like I said, the A-Mount is dead. Now, the last time that we heard Sony speak about DSLR anything or A-Mount anything was back in like 2019, 2020, right around there, when they introduced an LA-EA5 is what it was called. And basically what it was an A-Mount to E-Mount adapter that gave you phase detection, AF, as well as real-time tracking, as well as real-time eye tracking, and human eye and animal eye and all the rest of this stuff. And it was a way to bridge, let's say, all of those DSLR holdouts that were still out there over into a Sony mirrorless camera, like an A series. Now, these cameras that hit the chopping block were like the A77 II, which was launched in 2014, and it sported like 12 frames per second. It did 79 autofocus points, and 15 of those autofocus points were cross-type. It was a really good camera. I think it was up to like 60 shots doing JPEGs continuous with autofocus. I mean, it was really big. That was 2014. And then 2015 comes around, we see the A68 launch, and that was all about their 4D autofocus, right? Better autofocus. Once again, 79 points of autofocus, phase detection AF. It was a really big thing. Sony has always been a proponent of AF. Autofocus being really snappy, really quick. Ever since way back when the A7 came out and their autofocus was complete crap because they didn't have any lenses at the time and everything was being adapted, they didn't like it. They didn't like it at all. And as you can see, as of today, matter of fact, the camera that I'm using right now is a Sony. Why? Because the autofocus is snappy. Doesn't matter if I'm in 4K or if I'm in 1080p. Doesn't make any much of a difference. It will snap to my eyeball, and if I even turn a little bit one way or another, it'll snap to this eyeball and then snap to the other one. It is that quick. It does a fantastic job. So AF has always been a thing, and they've always touted it when it comes to their new releases. Now, in 2016, we saw finally the A99 II. And that A99 II was basically the final DSLR that will be produced from Sony. And it was pretty big because it had a BSI, a backside illuminated full frame sensor that was 42.4 megapixels. So that was like a big thing, CMOS sensor obviously. And it was gapless. There was a gapless chip. It was just really a quite amazing camera. You have your 4D autofocus and all the rest that we talked about previously. But it was a really, really good camera. And a lot of people, a lot of professionals still shoot with that A99 Mark II that was introduced in 2016. So you're looking at now 5 years down the road, but it is still a formidable camera being a DSLR. So in 2015, we see reports that Sony was going to stop everything when it comes to A-Mount, and literally a year later, we saw them come out with the A99 Mark II. I guess they weren't ready to take the plunge completely into mirrorless as of that time. So now we see 2021, and they are now fully out. That's the end of it. So the question is, what does Nikon do? Are they going to do the exact same thing and get rid of all of their DSLRs? Is Canon going to do the same thing and remove all DSLRs from their lineup? Or are they going to wait like Sony did? Remember, the A7 didn't come out for like, what was it, about 6 years ago or something? 7 years ago, whatever it is. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. But anyways, a while ago, and it took that amount of time, 7 years before, let's call it 7 years before they actually removed DSLRs from the lineup. So will Nikon and Canon do the same thing? I'm going to guess it's probably going to be maybe a year or two from now, because the writing is on the wall. Everyone is going in that direction besides Pentax and maybe one or two others. It's pretty much dead. DSLRs are going away. Even though we are seeing DSLRs disappearing, DSLR equipment and DSLRs on the used market will be out there for a decade to come, because there is so many millions of copies out there that they're going to be sitting around collecting dust, and people are going to be trading them. They're going to be selling them and buying them back and forth. And a lot of new photography students, like when I was going to photography school and digital was just starting to break out there, we still were using film cameras because they wanted us to learn with the old equipment. It gave us the ability to understand the camera a little bit better, understand f-stop, ISO, or film speed, as well as shutter speed and how they all interact. So we didn't need digital cameras that were extremely expensive when they first came out. We used film. And maybe that's what will happen going forward in schools. Instead of schools using a mirrorless camera, maybe they will have students buy DSLRs. Whereas you can cover up that back screen, let's say, and then force them to take photographs and pull it together and understand that trinity. Whereas with a mirrorless camera, when you look through the EVF, it's like an augmented reality. So all of the settings that you've changed on the camera are going to be shown in the EVF, and when you pull the trigger, guess what? What you see is what you get. WYSIWYG, right? You don't get that with a DSLR, that you're looking through an OVF, and you're just looking straight through the lens. That is it. So that might be a use case for DSLRs moving forward. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think will happen Will Sony influence the entire industry by getting rid of the A-Mount as of this week? Or will the other companies just simply continue to march at the beat of their own drum? Like I said, I think it'll be a year or two before we see Nikon and Canon completely nix their DSLRs, because there's still a lot of people purchasing them, number one, and number two, there's a ton of glass out there. The thing that they're doing right, both Nikon and Canon, is that they've created mounts, adapters, that will adapt their old glass to their new mount and do it well. Whereas years ago, if you use a mount, you would lose light, it would just be a hot mess. Sometimes autofocus wouldn't work right, or it would be laggy or whatever. Like, for example, the Canon adapter. That adapter is fantastic. Matter of fact, I would prefer it in some situations when you do not have a ton of ND filters at all different sizes and you're going to use a lot of lenses. So instead of having ND filters for all of your glass, a 24-70, a 70-200, something really big, small, whatever, you could basically use one of these adapters and then just slide in an ND filter. Pretty cool. Very, very cool. So you buy just those ND filters, and then any lens that you snap to that adapter will get the benefit. So anyways, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about all this? What do you think? Are you a Sony shooter? Are you in the Nikon or Canon or Panasonic? Or maybe you shoot Pentax, who's still going to continue with DSLRs. Where do you sit, and what do you think is going to happen now that we see Sony has basically stuck a fork in it, no longer creating any DSLRs, and the A-Mount is now dead? What are your thoughts? Anyways, if you got anything from this video at all, please throw it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click this little bell icon right over here. If you do, when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. And if you want to help out the channel, click down here where it says join and you'll become a member. You could give the channel $1, $2 a month or whatever, and I can throw you perks for doing so. Also, when we're done talking down here in the comment area below this video, go to community.JCristina.com. That is our creative Discord server. You can find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photographers, videographers, tech heads. They're all over there hanging out, talking 24/7, 365 days a year. So go check that out over at community.jcristina.com, our creative Discord server. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. Use promo code YT20 at checkout. Once again, promo code YT20 at checkout. You'll get 20% off everything in your shopping cart. And if you don't want to buy my products on my website, head over to B&H Photo and Video, or you can go to Amazon and pick up any of them through Amazon Prime. And there's a ton of mom and pop photography stores worldwide that you can pick up my products also. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.